Hi guys, so I decided that I'm going to make another video just because I think it's easier to like get out everything I need to say and not have it be a long paragraph that I know most people probably don't read. So, then again, most people probably don't watch the video either, but that's fine. So, this is like, if I'm being honest, my 4th or 5th time sitting down to make this video. And every time I'm like, it's about bullying, which it's going to be about bullying. But then self-harm and other things like get into the video, and then it ends up being like 30 minutes long. And I'm like, no one's gonna watch a 30-minute long video. So I'm hoping to keep this just to bullying. And if anything I say like offends you or like in some way like harms you mentally or physically or whatever, like please like don't watch it. Like I'm putting this out there to help myself and to like get it out there, but to also like so people who are going through this or went through this like know they're not the only one, and so that they can come talk to me. If you are that person who's click off, like come talk to me for whatever reason you had to click off, because obviously this hurts you in some way, shape, or form, and I want to help that. So yeah, with that said, we're gonna talk about me being bullied. Yeah, this is honestly not going to be easy, I guess, but it's not going to be as hard as it was if I'm taking out everything else that was in the video otherwise. So I moved to Fruitport for the first time in 3rd grade, and it was not easy because at Fruitport everyone already had like their friend groups from people already being there, and so I didn't really like fit in to Fruitport. It was about like, it was at least a good week when we would go like outside for recess. I would sit at a picnic table that was like in a shelter by myself and wouldn't have anyone talk to me, and like it was just very, very hard. And then after that, like I started making friends and everything seemed to be okay, and then like 6th grade hit, and at Fruitport from like 4th grade on, there's like these 2 groups of girls, and like you had to be a part of one of the groups, and I wasn't. Like I was always one of the outsiders to that, because I had friends in both groups, which would seem to be okay until Wrigley, stop, until like 6th grade. And then the leaders of the 2 groups like started bullying me because I was seen as like a part of like the other group, and like that wasn't okay to them. And I'm like, I'm not a part of any group, but like I guess I didn't understand that. And that's when, like, to pick a side, like I started losing friends because they're like, well, we can't be friends with you because so and so says we can't be friends with you. And I'm like, well, what the heck? But I was bullied starting in 6th grade for being a goody two-shoes, for being a kiss up to teachers, because I felt so uncomfortable sitting in the lunchroom by myself that I would get my food and I would go sit in teachers' classrooms because I didn't have anywhere else to eat lunch and feel safe. So I would do that, and like they would call me fat and ugly, and like, no, I get it, like I'm not the prettiest girl there is. Like I understand that, and like I get like I'm not the skinniest girl there is, but I'm not like super big either. So it's just like, it kind of, I don't know, it was just very, very hard, like already struggling with my self-image as it was, to have those people like say those things. And then I had like my biological father was like also saying things along those lines. So it's like I had him telling me these things and had other people reaffirming it. Like, it was just very, very hard being that young and hearing people say these things. Like, you believe it after a while. And so that was very, very hard. But then, so 6th grade, I was like, you know what, whatever, like, maybe next year will get better. Well, 7th grade was very, 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 very hard for me. Very, very hard for me. There was this guy, and it started out just as, like, name calling, and if you can think of it, like, I've been called every name in the book, and so if you can think of it, he or someone else probably called me that, and so it was very, very hard, and it got physical to the point where he would shove me into lockers and, like, shove my head into my locker, because we had a locker by each other, and, like, I often did not want to go to my locker by myself. And still in 7th grade, I would get my food and go and sit in teachers' classrooms, because I did not feel comfortable going to the lunchroom, because, like, he would scream things across the lunchroom, or he would do something in some way to harm me, and it's like, it was very, very hard. And starting in 7th grade, like, I had more people being mean to me. And I remember once I was delivering a note to the classroom that he was in, and the teacher just so happened not to be there, and he, like, was screaming stuff from across the classroom, and, like, came and, like, shoved me against the wall. And I went back to my classroom crying, and my teacher told me that I was being overdramatic and to get over it. What? No! Like, you don't get to tell a student that. Like, at all. And it finally got to the point where I was crying, like, it was bad. And so I walked out of class and, like, went to the counselor's office. I remember that teacher telling me that I was going to get a detention because I walked out of class. And I was just like, I walked out of class because I literally didn't have another choice. Like, what am I supposed to do? Like, sit there in class and continue to cry, like, in front of all of these people? Like, no, I'm going to leave and I'm going to go talk to the counselor. And the counselor ended up going to that teacher, and another teacher who also said the same thing, and was like, Brooklyn's, like, seriously getting bullied. You have no right to tell any student that they can't come talk to us. Like, it is their right to come talk to us, and it's your job as a teacher to let them, no matter when they ask, no matter what you think is going on. Like, you aren't the judge of that. And so they, like, both gave me, like, backhanded apologies, and I'm like, no, like, this isn't real. So at that point, like, I didn't trust teachers anymore. Like, I'm not going to tell them what's going on. Like, they're not going to believe me, and they're going to tell me I'm overdramatic anyways. And to get over it, like, why would I tell them then? And so it got to the point where my parents had to come to the middle school and talk to the principal and, like, threaten, because, like, nothing was happening. Like, I was still in classes with this person. I still had a locker by this person. Like, it was bad. I would go home and cry, and, like, they weren't doing anything about it. And I remember, like, talking to the principal, and she was like, well, you should come to me. And it's like, I did go to you. Like, I went to you multiple times. I went to the counselor. It's like, nothing was happening. And then 8th grade, like, I was still, like, I remember getting, like, shoved. Like, we had tall lockers then, so I remember getting, like, shoved into my locker, and people, like, laughing at me, and I had girls wanting to fight me, and I'm like, why would you want to, like, I don't understand. And then, like, 9th grade wasn't too bad, and I remember, like, finally, like, the turning point, 10th grade years, like, there was this one girl who was always, like, really, really rude to me, like, even in middle school, made me cry, and I went to a teacher who I had crying, like, I was in her class crying, and she, like, helped me, and was, like, able to, like, stop what was going on. But that was like the first time I had felt comfortable like talking to a teacher because of what happened in 7th grade. Like 8th grade, I didn't tell any of my teachers what was going on. Like I ate lunch in like one of my teacher's classrooms, and like that was really kind of it. But like that person didn't know like to the extent what was going on because I didn't feel comfortable enough talking to them. And like granted, that person, my 8th grade teacher, like granted, he is an amazing teacher. He's an amazing person. Like our family is now really close. Like he's just amazing. But like, and I should have felt okay to talk to him, but like I didn't because of what happened in 7th grade. But luckily my teacher my sophomore year of high school like helped to where I felt more comfortable to talk to teachers about what was going on. But like that was kind of like the last time I was like bullied until like my freshman year of college. Like I guess I was like bullied. It was just like really, really bad, and like due to like some people who I have on Facebook, like I'm not going to explain like what happened because it's just that would open another can of worms that I just don't want to open. But yeah, like it wasn't easy for me, and granted there's a lot that like I didn't say just because I don't want certain people to see this and be like, oh my goodness, like she's talking about me, or like anything like that. Like I don't want that to happen because like that's not the point of these. Like I'm not trying to call people out or anything. Like I'm just stating what happened, and like it's hard, but like it needs to be said. And I hope that like anyone being bullied, whether that's cyberbullied, whether that's in person or anything, like talk to somebody. Like, and if they don't believe you, talk to somebody else. Like, continue to do something. And I want to say this because I was in sports. Like, I played sports. I played soccer and I played volleyball. Like, I played sports and I was still bullied. Like, so don't tell me that kids who play sports are less likely to be bullied, because I played sports and I was still bullied and nobody believed me. So we got to keep that in mind because, like, it happens and it's real. And, like, it's so hard. Like, I never wanted to tell really any of my friends what was really going on either, because, like, I've even, like, talked to my friends, and they're like, you're so strong. Like, would never have, like, thought that something was going on because, like, you're so brave and you're so determined and strong. And when, like, we look at you, like, that's what we see is someone strong. And, like, I didn't want to break that. Like, I had built that for myself for so long that I didn't want people to see how I really was. And so yeah, like I built like this strong shell, but I'm not that strong shell anymore. Like I'm so sick of being a strong shell without a person inside. So like I am showing who I am, and that it makes me look weak and look like I'm asking for attention, which I'm not doing, but it makes me feel weak, and it makes me feel certain ways. And that's what's very, very hard about all of this is, like, I feel weak. Like, I don't feel strong, and that is very hard for me because I want to be strong, but to be able to be myself again, I have to open up. And like, yeah, that's hard. Like, that's very hard for me because I feel weak. Like, but my true self shell is weak. It's worn and it's cracking. It's not strong like everyone thinks it is. And I need to be able to be myself and be vulnerable and let people see me and see me for who I really am and accept that before. And I need to accept that, like, not just have people, but I need to accept that, and to be able to have that, accept that, like, I need people to support me and, like, love me even if I'm not the strong shell that they thought I was. And yeah, so again, I just want to state, like, if anybody is being bullied, has been bullied, or just wants to talk about depression, anxiety, anything, like, please feel free to talk to me. My next video is probably going to be about, like, self-harm and stuff like that, and who knows when I'll make that, because like I said, I've made this video combined with a video like that, and I cried all the way through it like 4 or 5 times, and I was like, I can't post this. But a lot of it is like, I can't post this because that is very raw for me. Like, it's been just over a year, maybe not even a year, since the last time I thought about killing myself and self-harmed myself. So it's like, that is still very, very raw to me. So who knows when I'll make that, but I'm just putting that warning out there, that if you do see another video after this one, it's going to be very, very raw. And so yeah, but thank you to anyone who watches this, and I really, like, I'm making these to help someone else going through this as much as help myself. So I really need to stress that, like, if anybody needs somebody to talk to, like, please feel free to come and talk to me. I would be so grateful to have someone talk to me than have someone hurt themselves or feel alone or anything. That being said, I hope you guys have a great day, and bye.